This is a Cleveland Browns channel. Uh, I'm completely devoted to the Browns. I'm 27 years old at the time of recording this on September 20th, 2025. And I have some opinions on Kevin Stefanski, which are not popular at this particular juncture. I have two main complaints on Kevin Stefanski, but in no way do I think he should be fired. One reason is whether it was his decision or not, I don't think we're ever going to get the answer if it was his decision to get rid of Baker Mayfield. I am not going to hold this against him. I think, again, I wanted to keep Baker Mayfield, but he had his flaws, as every QB does. And maybe he didn't fit with the offense. I really do think he got a poor shake in Cleveland because he led the Browns to two opportunities. Actually, 2018, he had the opportunity to go to the playoffs. Obviously, we lost a heartbreaker. It was going to be a long shot. 2020, COVID season, cut down on the turnovers because Stefanski comes in and kind of turns that offense around. They had some bummer games, but again, there was a foundation that was being built. Stefanski was doing Stefanski magic like he did with Case Keenum in Minnesota the year prior, but they get rid of him in 2022 due to a shoulder injury that Baker Mayfield tried to make a tackle on a Titans defender, which, again, Baker is a gunslinger. He wants to go deep, he wants to win, and we as Cleveland Browns fans enjoyed it at times, didn't enjoy it at others. And, turnovers have been a big bugaboo for the Cleveland franchise since the return. And, the show goes on. We traded for Deshaun Watson, which never was going to be lauded unless he won Super Bowls, and then he would have had the Big Ben situation that, many Pittsburgh fans still are undecided on Big Ben, even though he won two Super Bowls. That being said, Stefanski, his play calls are sometimes very poor. That, and he doesn't really give answers to questions. I've noticed this for a while. I get pissed when I hear him talk about certain situations. I want a coach that brings exuberance. I want a guy who talks. I want a guy who answers questions, bluntly or not. And Stefanski is a soft spoken guy. We don't know what type of leader he is. There's no, there's no leaks. Which is probably the one thing that Cleveland has going for them. There's no leaks in that locker room. Obviously, some guys have requested trade, some guys have threatened to retire, and not there's really no blame because we're a losing franchise. Joel Bitonio, our star left guard and Hall of Famer, in my opinion, threatened to retire if Stefanski's offense was not reverted to. So that again is in the Stefanski box of why I again do not think he deserves to be fired. Again, it seemed like a Jimmy Haslam decision to trade for Deshaun Watson. Obviously, that never worked out. It was never going to work out because he's not the Stefanski West Coast Zone offense. He is a spread QB. So, here's the thing. People want to give him shit because he makes poor play calls. He's an aggressive head coach, but he doesn't talk. So he's really hard to gauge. I'm talking in circles at this point because I'm trying to back up my points, but I also am trying to play devil's advocate why I think a lot of people do not like Stefanski. I like Stefanski. Again, am I biased because he's led two playoff appearances for the Cleveland Browns when they had one before Stefanski showed up? Yes, I am biased because I like to win. let's see. He has a 40-46 record. Last 2 years have been 3-17. He has had 4 losing seasons overall. Trying to play with every QB from Jacoby Brissett to Deshaun Watson to Joe Flacco to, at some point Dylan Gabriel. At some point, we're probably going to see Shedeur Sanders. From every QB back to Deshaun Watson. It is really tough to gauge who Kevin Stefanski is as a head coach. Because if we fire him, he's going to go to, I don't know, pick a team. The New York Giants. And I think he can turn that team around because they have a good defense. I like Jackson Dart. Any team would be lucky to snatch Kevin Stefanski, even as an offensive coordinator, even though he deserves another head coaching job, because I feel like the Cleveland Browns and the front office are going to get rid of him. Andrew Berry might get fired. Rightfully so, even though I do like Andrew Berry. He has made some head-scratching decisions. Been good drafts, though. So, again, you have to take into account Jimmy Haslam is, how do we put this? A head case. A guy who wants to run his team the way he wants to run his team. And that can be good for an owner. That could be bad for an owner. In this case, in this point, it's been bad. Again, 2 playoff appearances, 2 winning seasons under Jimmy Haslam. And he was a big part of getting Johnny Manziel. He was a big part of getting Deshaun Watson. I think he always is going to be known for those 2. And he deserves all the blame. Jimmy Haslam is the problem for the Cleveland Browns, not Stefanski. We are putting all the blame on one guy. And as many faults as he has always been set up to fail. He was always the fall guy. People look at him and say, he's good, but he's not great. And you might be right. He won 2 default Coach of the Years because he led the Browns to 2 playoff appearances. 2023 was amazing. 2024 was also amazing in how bad the team was because they were cap money strapped, and they will be for the next 4 years. This team, again, Kevin Stefanski's always meant to be the fall guy. But he does not deserve the blame, the majority of the blame. Put 10% on him. 30%, 20 to 30% on Andrew Berry. Jimmy Haslam is the problem, not Kevin Stefanski. Cleveland, do not blame him. Blame Jimmy Haslam why we suck. And we have sucked since 2011.